Busan Stadium suddenly fell silent when BTS's Jimin unexpectedly stopped singing, lowered his head, and could no longer hold back his tears on stage. Thousands of fans who had been cheering loudly were instantly overwhelmed with emotion as they witnessed Jimin, who is always seen as a strong figure, finally breaking down in front of everyone. However, what made this moment even more touching was the reason behind his tears, a heartfelt expression about his long journey with BTS, the struggles they had overcome together over the years, and his deep gratitude toward the 6 members who had always stood by his side, turning the entire stage into an unforgettable emotional moment. Welcome to Jimin Gallery, the home for Park Jimin fans who want to discover all the latest news, interesting facts, and stories behind the world's spotlight on Jimin. On the final night of BTS's concert in Busan, the atmosphere inside the stadium became a sea of emotions as Jimin was seen struggling to hold back his tears on stage. Thousands of fans witnessed the touching moment when his bright smile slowly turned into sincere tears. Jimin, who is usually known as someone who always tries to give positive energy to his fans, showed his most vulnerable side that night. With a trembling voice, he tried to express the gratitude that had been kept deep inside his heart for so long. Amid the cheers of the fans, Jimin shared that the night felt incredibly special because it reminded him of the long journey he had taken together with BTS and their fans. He felt deeply moved by the endless support they had received since the beginning of their career. Jimin's tears flowed even more as he remembered the difficult times they had gone through together as members. For him, every stage was not just a place to perform, but also a space to share stories, struggles, and dreams that they had built together. Seeing Jimin become overwhelmed with emotions and struggle to find words, the BTS members immediately approached him. One by one, they offered their support, hugged him, and stood beside him as a reminder that he had never faced that journey alone. The moment made the atmosphere in the stadium even more emotional. Fans also shed tears as they witnessed the strong bond between the members, who had supported and encouraged each other through countless moments over the years. J-Hope was seen giving encouragement with his warm smile, while RM tried to calm the atmosphere with meaningful words. Jin, Suga, V, and Jungkook also stayed by Jimin's side, showing their support without needing many words. Jimin then wiped away his tears and tried to smile again in front of the fans. However, the emotions were still clearly visible on his face as he realized that BTS's long journey had brought them to a moment he had never imagined before. He expressed that every piece of support from fans meant so much to him. For Jimin, the love and trust they had given him became the reason for him to continue standing on stage and giving his very best. The fans filling the stadium responded with long, heartfelt cheers as a symbol of their love and appreciation. Their voices echoed throughout the arena, as if telling Jimin that every struggle and effort had never been meaningless. The moment when all members stood together with Jimin became one of the most emotional scenes of the concert. It was not only about a performance, but about a friendship and bond that had grown through a long journey filled with challenges. Jimin smiled again when he saw the members standing close to him. He realized that beyond the shining lights of the stage and the attention of the world, the most valuable thing was the people who had always walked beside him. That night became an unforgettable memory for everyone who witnessed it. Jimin's tears did not only represent sadness, but also a deep sense of gratitude for all the love he had received. With eyes still filled with emotion, Jimin continued his performance with BTS. He proved that behind a strong artist, there is a heart full of gratitude and affection for the people who have always supported him. The final concert in Busan ended with an atmosphere filled with emotion. Jimin and all BTS members left the stage with a message that every journey has its own story, and every memory created together will always remain irreplaceable. Jimin was not crying only because it was the final night of the concert, but because that night represented a long journey filled with struggles and achievements. Standing on the stage where he had chased his dreams, he looked at thousands of fans who continued to show their love after sharing so many years together. In that deeply emotional moment, Jimin remembered the days when he was just a young man with a simple dream of performing in front of many people. He realized that his journey with BTS had taken him through countless experiences he had never imagined before. The tears that fell were not only a reflection of sadness because the concert was ending, but also a powerful expression of gratitude. Jimin felt incredibly fortunate to have 6 people who had always walked beside him, supported him during difficult moments, and celebrated every success together. Seeing Jimin trying to stay strong, the BTS members then approached him. They stood around him, offering hugs and support, as if they wanted to say that all the memories, struggles, and dreams they had built together were never carried alone. That moment became a reflection of the bond they had formed over many years. They were not only group members, but also close friends who understood each other even without having to say much. The fans watching from inside the stadium were also swept away by the emotional atmosphere. Many were touched to see Jimin's human side. An artist who usually gives strength to others, now receiving comfort and support from the people around him. When Jimin finally smiled again, the entire stage felt different. That smile was not simply a sign that he'd stopped crying, but a symbol that he felt safe being surrounded by the people who held such an important place in his life. That night was remembered as a deeply emotional moment. Not just about a concert, but about friendship, gratitude, and the long journey that had brought BTS and their fans to that point. Jimin then lowered his head for a moment while trying to control his emotions. With a trembling voice, he expressed his deepest gratitude to the BTS members who had always walked beside him. He said that all the achievements they had earned were not the result of just one person, but the journey of 7 individuals who held each other's hands through every situation. Standing in front of the 6 members who were beside him, Jimin shared that without them, many moments in his life might have felt much more difficult. He remembered how they gave each other strength during challenging times, encouraged one another when they felt exhausted, and stayed together despite having to overcome countless obstacles as a team. With his eyes still filled with tears, Jimin said that BTS was not just the name of a group to him, but a family that had accompanied him throughout his life journey. He felt grateful to be able to share the stage, dreams, and memories with 6 people who had always stood by his side. Those sincere words deeply touched the BTS members as well, while the entire stadium was filled with an overwhelming atmosphere of emotion, love, and appreciation.